It's Radio Zero with Rick and Rose from the depths of hell. The first week of the Trump presidency, number 2. And I do mean number 2.
Number 2, yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
We're live streaming on Facebook, on the Radio Zero page and Poster Children page. On Twitch, is Twitch okay? I don't know. At PCJC USA, and on the Poster Children YouTube channel. Underneath the
and we fucking own a Tesla.
Owned by Google. Try to live stream every other Friday. Ooh, it's been an extra Friday, at 5 p.m. Central. You can subscribe to the podcast on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or you go to radiozero.us. You can patronize us at patreon.com/radiozero. Thanks to all our Patreon donors.
Hi, Cody. The sign of the devil back to you, too.
Oh, yeah. So now I've
see,
got
yeah.
the live stream videos got the messages like... It's like a professional streaming live stream going on here. It's like
how's it going, guys?
Got the notes, the comments showing up on the live stream video. Let's see. Can I watch the?
How are you doing, Cody? Are you doing well?
Oh, that's why I don't want to watch it on this, because then it's gonna be a delay. Oh, drives me crazy. Okay. Well. So I'm, maybe we just roll into this. I'm a little disappointed that there's nowhere, so we've got, same old crap, says Cody. Are
you disappointed?
I'm disappointed.
Disappointed.
Already, I was already, ticked off at the Meta umbrella, and then it's like having, Zuckerberg, and then having Mr. Google show up on the clown stage, and then the greatest show on earth. What not the greatest show on earth. What is it? What's the word that people now use as meaning amazing and wonderful, but can also mean horrifying?
I don't know.
I can't remember. And then so we're live streaming on that Facebook, live streaming on the freaking Google, and then Twitch, I guess, is okay. So I need to figure out a place to live stream from here, and then, trying to exit from all of these fascist platforms. And,
we don't
and
need
it's like,
this
where do we go?
fascist groove thing.
I can't, I can't live stream on Blue Sky. I guess we can just run this live stream direct from Restream and just post that somewhere. But, is Jack Dorsey cool? Like Blue Sky? I'm just like, what am I going to do? Maybe we're just going to do a fanzine? Maybe we'll do a little newspaper and mail it out to people?
Oh, so you want to kill some trees then?
Exactly.
I'm
good
idea.
So disappointed.
It's almost like there are only 2 choices for presidency. It's almost like they're the same ones over and over again. It's like, you know what? Okay, Cody's saying, what about Rumble? Is that better? Greatest shit show on earth. Thanks, Matt. I probably don't have to just sit here I'm looking at the Facebook, right? I'm looking at at Radio Zero and Poster Children on Facebook, but I'm seeing like Matt Leffler, Schumann, greatest shit show on earth, comments and stuff. This is nice. I'll respond to whatever comments. We can't win. We have won. We're still fucking alive. Okay? I'm sorry.
Living, is that winning? No, I think it's consolidating all the wealth under your pyramid. Who's gonna be the great consolidator? Who's gonna get everything? Is it Elon? Is Elon going to be the king of the hill, the one who gets once everything consolidates? Is he going to buy? He's going to buy TikTok, and then he'll buy Google, and then he'll buy Apple, and then he'll own and possess everything, right? That's the end point of this, right?
I don't, I don't even know. Kevin Dunham saying the future is in radio. And that's a cool thing for Kevin to say, because I think Kevin was in radio. Yeah, the future's in radio. How about just going out? How about old man yells at clouds or something? Why
I mean,
don't you
that's
just do
basically
that?
what this is, right? Old people yelling at clouds.
You know what?
Yeah.
I mean, it's over. Like, I don't know. I had a great class this morning. I'm teaching this class. Sorry, I think I have like a potato chip on my face. I'm teaching this class, our like beginning digital skills class, but we teach like time management and stuff like that. And I was having like the best time in my class. Like, and I'm like, fuck it, I don't care. I'm actually having the students read the Mindful 20 something. I'm not forcing it upon them, but there's this book that's got like the greatest hits of like kind of, mindful, I'm just going to say Buddhist thought, right? Like letting go and whatever, all that stuff, right? I've studied all this stuff a lot. We've gone to Tibet, we've gone to Nepal, we've been to a million different temples and stuff. I've done all this stuff. I've done meditation, and I know that the science says that it works and stuff. So I'm good. And this is a great book. It's got like the greatest hits. So I'm just boldly like telling the students, hey, skim the bottom of page 1, top of page 2, look at page 6 and 7, and then I had some questions for them today. And I can't, like, I feel really proud that I've boldly gone and done this. And I tell them, it's not a religion. It's not affiliated with religion. You can affiliate it with a religion if you want. You're a Christian and you do meditation. That's cool. That's fine. But I want to talk about what's in this book. So I want to tell you, I'm going away from politics right now because I don't want to be like the belly aching, I'm in the abyss.
Aching.
The belly aching abyss. Like, what am I going to do?
I'm so unhappy that we're going to destroy the planet.
We've already been destroying the planet. So let me finish this.
Destroy people's lives.
Let me just go through this.
Oh, I'm belly aching.
Actually, my belly is actually aching right now. So I just wanted to say this is what I did with my students. I'm just going through. I wrote these notes down. So I asked them. The first thing I was like, what are the qualifications of the person who's written this book? What are they? And I also asked, what are their pronouns? Because it's a lady who wrote the book. It's a lady doctor. They're like, oh, it's a she. So because I'm getting diversity in the class, I'm having a female writer.
Oh,
female,
okay.
Little bit of diversity. And I teach music business most of the time, so and computer programming. So like having a book written by a she is something different. So I said, what are the qualifications? And they're looking through okay, it's a doctor, it's an MD, so that's probably a legit person, So I'm training them to like think about qualifications of who's reading their reading, right? That's good, right? And then I said, and then we talked about the scientific research that, meditation makes you healthier, because that's like scientifically proven, like until we don't have science anymore, which is probably tomorrow. But sitting and meditation makes you less reactive. So we established that. I said, I'm not telling you you're not going to have to sit. I'm just telling you that's what it says here. But then the next thing, this is the next point, is she talks about changing your perspective on things. Like how sometimes you get like a perspective change and then everything is like, oh, wait a minute, So like, and one kid said that, I was like, did your perspective ever change? And one kid said, that a family member got very, very sick all of a sudden and they had to take them to the hospital. And that like totally changed their perspective. Like, because that does happen.
What?
On like, I don't know, your homework assignment sucking.
Oh, like.
Or just, the food options sucking, or like, it's just like, oh no, my family member, my parent is about to die. Crap, how, so that was somebody shared that, like, a perspectives change. And this book talks about, teaching you how to have a perspective change. And then another thing that the book talks about is judging oneself. Like judging, like the judging. And that's like a lot of students talked about I've got a whole bunch of stuff to catch up with here. With Cody's written some stuff, but like that really resonated with them because a lot of them feel like they can't finish their assignments and stuff because, oh, this sucks, this is terrible, I'm judging myself, or I did bad, or, oh, I didn't go to class last time, so, I'm a terrible person. So a lot of judging. And the one thing I do remember about this book was there was like a chapter on the judge, like you judging yourself and stuff. So I was really excited about that. So we're going to talk about judging oneself, and then the next thing we talked about was the assignment is the assignment that my co-teacher who developed this part of the class teaches is called uncomfortable art, but it's art. You're supposed to make a project that pushes you out of your comfort zone. So if you're normally a visual artist, you're supposed to make a song, or you're usually like a songwriter, you're supposed to make visual art and stuff like that. And then talking about, like, we were talking about when you go out of your comfort zone, you can get like if and you prevail and you live through it, you get like a dopamine hit. Like and so that got them all excited. Everybody was talking about times when they went out of their comfort zone. And hello, Dannon. Hello, yeah, okay, wait. Oh, I can't wait to see what you guys have written. I'm just going to finish up here in my notes. So they were all talking about, like, oh, well, one time I did this, one time I went to we've got a thing called Theater Ted here, which Coach Beard, I guess, was involved in when he was here from Ted Lasso. And this guy's like, yeah, I was, I'm really scared. I was really scared, and I pushed myself and I went to it, and then I really loved it, And so everybody's kind of giving these stories about like when they pushed themselves and then got like prevailed, and lived to tell about their having pushed themselves. And you could see it was kind of like they were beaming, and they were like so happy, and they were like smiling about things, thinking about things. And we ran out of time because there's 50 students in the class and 50 minutes in the class. So we're going to run out of time. So I'm thinking, and the class is usually taught to like 15 or 20 students, right? But I decided that I wanted more outreach. I wanted to reach more students with some of this stuff. And, and there's a bunch of other reasons why we have a bigger class in this section. But so I thought, well, what am I going to do? I could make a discussion section, or, online discussion, and they can talk about, they can tell us their stories and stuff. But then I thought, well, I'll make them tell their parents, when they leave the class, they can like go tell somebody else about the time that you pushed yourself and were out of your comfort zone. And then I was thinking while they were talking, no, I'm going to make them ask somebody else about when they pushed themselves out of their comfort zone, because then they'll get to see how happy that person is. I was like, I'm really enjoying watching you guys because you're really happy. So if you ask somebody this, you're probably going to get a really happy story out of them, and you'll get to feel as happy as I am right now listening to how happy you guys are. So I thought that was a good upscaling of the class, and I was really happy until like about 3:00 today, when something else happened. No, really, nothing else happened. It wasn't as fun doing the other work, but yeah. So when was the time that you pushed yourself out of your comfort zone, Rick?
Boy, I don't know. I mean, I guess, singing, playing shows, all that stuff.
Yeah. Obviously, you like it because you do it more.
Yeah, I guess. Yeah.
Yeah. How about you, listeners? Okay, what do I got here? I got Cody, we can't win. Tim Bowers, no comment. Kevin, the future is in radio. Tim Bowers says, Elmo is South African, and if Lethal Weapon 2 taught me anything, what does that mean? Oh, Elmo. We're calling it Elmo.
You're already calling him Elmo.
Elmo, yeah. Instead of Elon. Everybody's calling him Elmo, right? Is that what's happening? It says Elmo here.
Right.
Cody says they should study David Lynch philosophy, his book Catching the Big Fish. Oh, okay. Oh, and he talked about meditation.
Yeah, David Lynch was a big meditator. There's that great video of him he's in the audience of the Mike Douglas show, with the Maharishis on it. It's like in the early 70s, and you could see there's a beaming young David Lynch sitting in the audience. It was a very big.
Did he
big
have
TM guy?
Tall hair? Oh yeah,
No,
transcendental meditation.
He looked pretty hippie-ish until the late 70s.
Did he have long hair?
Yeah.
Do you feel like he talks like Steve Albini?
Well, he was from
I know they're both
Missouri.
Yeah.
Missouri. Montana.
Or Missouri.
Missoula.
Yeah.
I don't know if he was from Helena?
Somebody.
But he was from Montana too. Yeah, they have similar. Yeah.
Yeah. Right. Like, do all people from? Well, I don't know if Steve was from Missoula. They moved there, right?
Yeah,
Yeah,
but I mean,
yeah.
you get yeah. So I don't know. Ooh, and then I can see like YouTube comments like Henry Rollins said. Matt says, like Henry Rollins said, we need to be punk rock. This is what Joe Strummer trained us for. Yeah.
Thank you, Matt. It was Matt said that?
Yeah.
Yes. Thank you. Jesus Christ. Thank you.
Matthew said Elon's getting sold down the river by the banks right now, which is good news.
Yeah.
Lars
Lars
he's going to
says,
get booted from the White House. Yeah, the White House, whatever. I'm talking about the big pile of money. But yeah, David Lynch. That was. I mean, it is interesting. I mean, that's one of the. So, I had a perception. So yeah, what you said about meditation, I don't. To me, the problem I always had was like the idea that it was removing yourself or kind of taking yourself out of reality, right? That idea that you're shutting yourself down or closing, kind of like turning off the input, and that's not what it is, right? It's more
Correct.
about observing it, right?
Yeah.
And then so that like learning that helped me because I had a bias against meditation, and then David Lynch, just the fact that he was a meditator, right? And yet made really
fucked
interesting
up movies.
stuff. So it's kind of like it's that idea of like drugs, drugs, can. Some people say, they can be inspirational, but then, that idea of, they could be deadening. And then I was thinking, meditation, that'd be the same thing. It's like kind of deadening you and you're not going to be able to be a creative person or something. It'll take away that tension or the crisis of creativity or whatever. But that's not what it, it's, and
like
that's not what it's about.
Yeah. So
that's one of the things.
I talked about in my class, I didn't say the monk. There's a monk guy, like a punk monk, right? Like some punk rock monk or Buddhist teacher that talks about sitting down or sitting, and when you sit, and you begin to do your meditation, and it's like sitting in a war with bullets flying back, and your thoughts are like bullets, and you're supposed to just let them go, go through you and not judge them or anything like that. And it's impossible to do. You're supposed to not cling on to them. You're supposed to just be like, okay, I fucked up when I talked to that girl, and oh man, I forgot to flush the toilet, and all that stuff's just supposed to go. You're supposed to let it go. But it never quiets down. I mean, or you're lucky and it did quiet down for a second, and then you're like, holy shit, I'm meditating, I'm doing it, and that's not meditating either. That's being proud of yourself, So it's all, but it's a practice, and you are kind of taking yourself out of it, because I've been talking a lot about games lately and play. So play happens. Play is like a simulation for your life, right? A game or play happens usually in a demarcated space. Like if you're playing like tennis or you're playing basketball or something, that happens on a court, right? Or you're playing capoeira, it happens in a hara. Or you're playing a board game, it happens on the board. All that stuff. And then, or you're playing Risk, and it's like a simulation for war, right? Or you're playing, whatever you're playing it in a safe space for practice for later on. You're developing mental strategies and agility and acuity or whatever, right? So, but play, the whole reason for doing that is you're kind of, you're in this safe space. And meditation is the same thing. You're sitting on a tuffet. You're not like out in the real world and somebody didn't just spit at you or something like that. You're sitting there and your thoughts are spitting at you, and you're trying to just let it go. And then later on, you get off your meditation cushion or wherever you're meditating, you go out and, you're driving around and somebody flips you off and you're like, okay, that was just like that thought about that thing, and I'm going to let that go too. So it's a practice of letting go and letting things that bother you.
So here's the thing. So, and I know, like David Lynch talking about, actually doing, it was, really into this idea of, visualization and meditation for,
And that's a different,
changing.
yeah.
No, go ahead.
No, that's a different thing though. Transcendental meditation. I'm not talking
Yeah,
about that. Okay.
Changing the world, right? Being able to actually, sort of through meditation,
Oh, he
sort of
thought that
have an impact. Yeah,
that's
yeah.
never
He was
going to
definitely-
work.
Yeah, and so that's the thing though, and then but also then meditation, it's kind of like, oh, don't want to call it acceptance, but that type of thing. But if you're living in a world of conflict, right? I don't know. It to me, I don't see how it goes back to that idea of disengagement, right? And that to me, I don't think disengagement. I guess it's to prevent yourself being harmed by these external forces, but it's still, I think you have to be, I don't know, being engaged with what's happening. Right.
Yeah, I don't see meditation as being disengaged with anything. I see meditation as it's almost like saying you're going to go take a shit on the toilet and in a time like this.
And I guess it's like the creative thing also, right? Where it's like my worry is that if I just spend the next 4 years or 50 years, just kind of meditating and accept or sort of, allowing all this to happen, that I won't be engaged in fighting. But I guess I'm not engaged in fighting anyways. So
You're also I absolutely do not conflate meditation. To me, that's like sleeping or eating, or also I don't do it, or taking a poo or something like that. That's like oh, I got to spend my 20 minutes or my hour going and taking a poo or something like that. You're not like you're still engaged in the world, but you're not. I guess when you're taking a poo, you're on your phone, so you're kind of engaged. And when you're you can't be on your phone when you're doing meditation, I suppose. But we have a caller on the line. No, I don't see that's like taking a shower. Meditating is like taking a shower, sometime after a while you smell and you got to wash yourself. That's what it is. You're not going to not shower because Trump is the president. That doesn't sound like a bad idea though.
Actually, I did. Yeah, I had a pretty long run there.
Yeah. Cody said it's funny he
leading up.
talked about meditation and peace, but in the clips of him, he's on the set. He's like, "What the fuck is wrong with all you morons?"
And Matt had mentioned that this school in Baltimore, or Baltimore School District, where kids are taught meditation, not medication, meditation, and it's helping with behavior and things like that.
I mean, what's
So-
funny to me is I haven't been doing it lately. Like I'm just try like even 20 minutes a day. And I was doing it for a while, but I stopped. So like I stopped for like a week or two. So I'm gonna go back to it. Just knowing how to do it though, and just like knowing how to yeah, I guess it is like disengage, but it's like protecting yourself.
And what's interesting is the movie we just watched last night, the A Real Pain, right? Where that whole I mean, there's a lot of discussion about it, and about the lives and the existence we're in, or that modern existence where and then comparing it to World War II, or the Holocaust and that experience, and how people survived through miracles, 1,000 miracles, and then lived in the through the most most horrendous human events in human history, right?
Yeah.
And yet we're we are some of us have massive pain and anxiety and everything like that in a relatively comfortable life, and so it's how So the mindfulness is important, and I know students,
Perspective.
the young people are anxious for good reason, I think, about the world, and having a way to kind of. My problem is that again, it's like if the world is becoming not unbearable, but full of conflict, right? But I guess, and there are people being killed and murdered and lives being threatened or ended by what's going on. So, I mean, it's not even that, oh, we're all living in our cushy little computerized homes, eating bonbons. I mean, there's a lot of suffering going on. So I don't know. I don't know what I'm saying.
Oh, you're talking about perspective.
Yeah.
I mean, I think like even just thinking about like the they're going to take away the multi-gendered restrooms and stuff like that. Right now, all of a sudden, my horrible canceled joke when Trump said, and here from now on there are only the United States only recognizes 2 genders, and I thought to myself, well, at least they're recognizing 2. Which is really a horrible thing for me to, like, that was my canceled joke. I thought that of myself, and then I thought I can't never say that, because I don't even feel like there should be 2 genders. Like, I don't even, like, that's not, I have really weird views on all that stuff. April Smith is saying the old people are anxious too. Right. And then this is the thing is, like, I've been sitting and I've been like dragging my head on a brick wall for the past like 2 or 3 hours. And so I have and then my mom calls me, she's like, did you hear what Trump just did? And I'm like, I'm sure it's something really bad, and I don't know if I want to hear it. It's like, what did like the New York Times popped up and said like he wants to get rid of FEMA or something. Like, it's like he said he's going to get rid of FEMA. And then another New York Times popped up and said something else, and then on the way here I heard on NPR he's going to try to name there's like a tribe in North Carolina that he's going to try to get their official name named, that like what they're going to make them official. And I was like, yeah, and what's bad about that? Come on, where's the catch? And it was like, no, he's just doing a good thing. And I was like, why are you telling me this? Like, what's wrong with the tribe? And so I'm like so poised to like what the fuck is this asshole doing now? I mean, it's and that's why my stomach hurts right now.
Yeah.
And I know he's horrible, and I know Elon Musk gave a fucking Nazi salute. Oh my God, Elon's a Nazi. Holy shit, maybe we shouldn't have voted for him.
A South African whose grandfather moved from Canada to South Africa.
Who knew?
In the 1920s, because Canada was getting too diverse.
Yeah, who knew? I mean, my solace for the next 4 years is probably going to be, like when they trot somebody out. I've said this before. They'll trot somebody out. They'll be like, it'll be somebody who was like, I voted for Trump, but I'm sorry now, and this is why. And I'll be like, yeah, you fucker. Well, we accept you now,
Why? Well, yeah, no, and there are a few of the people who are like pardoned, right? Or like, I shouldn't have been pardoned, and they're also like,
oh yeah,
no, yeah, I was in a cult. They were like, I don't, or even one guy saying, well, no, I, after January 20th, 2021, when Biden got sworn in, I was like, I realized, okay, well, wait, yeah, Trump's not president. It's like some of these, yeah. So, I mean, I guess there's hope there, I guess, is that members of the cult are going to get deprogrammed, right? Either by being thrown in jail or, having something happen to them as a result of their involvement in the cult. But I don't know. Yeah. What I found refreshing was watching the Daily Show and
that was nice.
Stephen Colbert last night, and it was like, okay, yeah, I can't listen to NPR, I can't listen to the news anymore, I can't listen to the straight news. I need to hear people commenting on it and saying, this is crazy, you're not crazy, this is all crazy, and let's talk about it. Now, whether or not that's, I don't know if it's constructive, but
it's just for right now. It's 1 week into this cancer, okay? April Smith says the federal government no longer accepts gender as a concept. Plus, they wiped all policies concerning trans people on all government agencies. We are non-people now. Matthew Bradley saying, I'm in D.C., Capitol Hill, where our Airbnb neighbors walked around in full battle gear on January 6th. I saw some other things coming through here, but I couldn't, yeah, I missed them because I think this is coming through YouTube. So there's YouTube comments. Yeah. The humor makes the pill go down easier. Yeah, I mean, the things that freak me out are when they're they're gonna get rid of like science. Like they're like, if science doesn't work for them, they're gonna get rid of it. They're gonna not let it get out and stuff like that. That's what really scares me. It's really, really scary time, and we're gonna have to be here for each other. We're just gonna have to be here for each other. I have a note here to that Lars Nielsen said, I finally made a live show. Stay warm, guys. This was probably before we were starting to talk a little bit about politics. And Lars has written, what is a good beginner bass for my son's first real band gig? Tina, yeah, watch the BBC News. That is good. So what's the first beginner? What's a good beginner bass, Rick?
I mean, there are actually all of the, sort of instrument manufacturers now have sort of cheaper
entry level
things. So yeah, just getting one of those.
Or get a used one.
Oh yeah, you always get a used one, but like, just some kind of Fender.
Congratulations on your son's first real band gig. But like for me, when I bought my first bass, I called my dad, who's a trumpet player, and I was like, Dad, there's 2 basses in this store in the Deerfield School of Music. There's 2 used basses. Which one should I get? And he said, well, play them both and see which one you like the sound of better. And so I did that, and I bought the one that I liked. I bought a frickin' G3, Gibson G3, which sounded amazing, and then I killed it. And I hate myself. Okay, so you want to talk a little bit more about politics? I mean, I don't know what to do. I don't hate. I don't think it's good to hate. I don't know.
I mean, so again, I think, but I mean, there might be a hate, I guess, but that's a valid emotion, I think, when somebody is doing harmful things, right, to have an emotional response to that. Now, whether or not to actively, I don't know.
Shoot? Should I shoot?
Hey, no, yeah. See, that's I don't think violence. I don't know why.
That's the other worst thing too. Is like the assholes who like no one's gonna complain about like the I don't know. Sorry, the Democrats are like, oh well, I guess Trump is elected now. It's not like if Kamala Harris got elected, the Republicans would start a new war, would start a civil war in here, like the sore losers won.
Yeah, and that's the thing. It's like, oh, what the Democrats, screwed up and they didn't do the right thing and everything, and it's like, it's it's fighting against, like, what we're supposed to find a progressive monster to fight back, as an alternative, fight the same kind of fight. And
this is.
Yeah, I don't know.
We had a conversation about this. This was me trying to figure out what we did wrong. I was just kind of going over, okay, what happened? Because I did hear, I heard somebody say, oh well, the Democratic Party is the party of the elite now. It's like all the college professors and the people who went to college, and and the people who didn't do that, people who are not like that, we don't feel welcome in the Democratic Party anymore. It seems too elite. And I was like, well, that's trouble.
I guess it's true, but
it's true, and it's really unfortunate.
But I guess, so you could also say, oh, but like go back to 1968 and say, well, yeah, the Democratic Party lost. That's when, the Republicans started taking over, or people started jumping to the Democratic Party. It was because of the civil rights, and so Nixon was able to explain, basically bring the racists into the Republican Party. And it's like, oh, what should the Democrats, they should have continued in their, Southern racist, segregationist. It's like, oh, we should continue to support that and be the party of segregation in order to maintain our majority, right? And it's like, well, no, I don't think so, right? Or it's like that doesn't seem like it's kind of, to me, it's the same thing. It's like, oh, you've lost these people because you're not supporting them, but it's like, you know what? I don't think that's actually, it's a perception, right? And so what it is that, yeah, there's a perception that Democrats don't support are just for the elites, but it's basically no. Well, I mean, I guess elites like us, right, think that, oh, we we should have a more equitable society, and we should use social services to help uplift people, and we should have more equity within our society, right? And so and the thing is that just because the messaging doesn't get through and everything like that doesn't mean that you abandoned. It means that people have been captured by a narrative, right? That's appealing, or they've been taken over by this narrative that, yeah. So and so I guess what it is with the failure that, and I don't want to even say Democrats, but like progressives, the failure is that I guess just not as good at messaging, right?
Well, it's also like
getting people to join.
Yeah.
Yeah, you have to run a cult. So it's got to be a separate cult,
Yeah.
right? So you've got, and so I guess that's the thing and that's what I said about what's her name? Who was the spacey woman that was in the Marianne,
Yeah,
whatever, when that was years ago, right? 8 years ago? Was it 8 years ago?
Yeah.
Where it was like her, she, flake and everything like that, and woo woo new agey and everything like that. But the way she was talking, and talking in this sort of new age spiritual way, and talking about, sort of progressive ideals through that to me is like, okay, that's the kind of messaging. So it's like, instead of being, the valedictorian and the straight A student lecturing people about what's right and everything like that, I guess need a messenger. We need a anti-Trump kind of cult of personality, authoritarian, progressive, or benevolent authoritarian type person to basically run the world the other way.
But it can't be a lady or a Jew.
Apparently. I mean, that's
Can't
the
be a
thing.
lady.
Is, to me, it should be, yeah.
All right, so Cody, here you go. Cody's saying the Dems haven't delivered on policies to help workers and the poor.
Well,
Is that true?
well, I guess.
I mean, wasn't there a whole bunch of policies that Biden did and we just don't know, like he's just not good at messaging about? Isn't there like there's some people have got student loan forgiveness. That's not the poor though. Yeah, like weren't we all given like thousands of dollars during the pandemic, like as a recovery? Wasn't there like some sort of recovery act?
Yeah,
I
mean, and so I mean, I don't understand, how much more Biden could have done with the legislative branch that he had to deal with, right?
Yeah, that's true.
It's like,
Yeah. The government was working well. Government was progressing nicely. Oh my God! I just double clicked on something. Kevin Dunham says we have entered into our broligarchy era. Broligarchy.
Yeah, totally.
And then Dannon wrote, there's a name of there's a lot of French here, Dannon, and I don't speak French, so, but la ligne n'a pas pu être coupée assez à nouveau from Adam Conover on YouTube this week, and he makes an excellent point. So yeah, thank you. I'm going to watch that. I'm assuming it's not in French. Why is it? Why you can translate it for me if you want. I can, like, now that I speak Portuguese, I sometimes I can understand a little bit of French. But Rick's looking up Adam Conover.
Well, no, it's Adam ruins everything.
Yeah, Adam ruins everything. Yeah.
Which for some reason,
no, I figured
kids don't like him.
Oh, huh. Well, April says the Dems were too nice.
I guess.
Yeah.
The thing is that, again, like, so the answer is to get down to Trump's level and operate on the crazy, weird Christian fundamentalist level, and just basically spew crazy shit and create division. That's to fight harder. Like,
Okay.
it's basically a war it's a war, and we have to fight dirty in order to push. This is what I'm talking about. Is like,
Yeah.
what's the new political order going to be, and is it authoritarianism, right? And so if it's authoritarianism, then you need the benevolent authoritarian. We need a progressive
All right,
authoritarian.
so who do you what?
We need
what
an
do you-
FDR, right? In some ways he was, that's people said a little bit about, that era, right? It's like, yeah, FDR, did a lot of, pretty, yeah, authoritarian type stuff, right? Trying to pack the Supreme Court, which, would be a great idea again, right? Or expand it. And so it's like, oh, yeah. So we had these huge, powerful figureheads running things, and some of them were fascist, mega murderers, right? And some were socialist, mega progressives, right? And so it's like, oh, maybe that's what we need now, right? We're back to.
So who do you see?
I haven't seen anyone.
Can't be Pritzker, right?
No.
Okay.
Yeah, because he's been maybe though. Yeah, I mean, he is
The Happy Warrior. Is that like an FDR sort of reference, like benevolent
dictator, I guess. Yeah,
Happy
but
warrior?
to me, it's like a benevolent, progressive authoritarian, right? Someone, yeah.
What isn't he in those three things?
J.B. Pritzker.
Yeah.
I mean, I guess he is a billionaire, so that helps,
Mhm.
right? Is he a billionaire? Well, he's close. And so I guess that's what it is. It's just, yeah, the oligarchy. So we need progressive oligarch,
We need to sign to sire again. We can't go with an indie. So Dan says that he pasted the wrong thing, and you're using like Google Translate or something. It's called the secret reason the Dems keep losing. It's not le trois.
Yeah,
blah, 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 blah. Did I swear in French?
Here's from Matt. There are some suggestions for our president. So
All right,
Tom
good.
Hanks, Madonna, Bill Gates. I mean, it's Oprah, right? Is like the but yeah.
But she's a woman.
Yeah, but it's that idea is like, oh, you need a cult of personality, right? Type of person.
It's like, okay, there's a couple of stuff here. April Smith says, notice the high price of eggs is no longer the fault of the president. That's right, because it's not Biden anymore. Kevin says, some people just want a daddy.
Yeah, I mean that is. I
Yeah.
mean that some people boil it down to, yeah, oh, whether or not you have this kind of patriarchal kind of view of how not just the family, but how the world should be run, right?
A daddy to spank you.
Yeah. Well,
Right,
yeah,
which kinda
weird.
Fucking J.D.
Yeah.
Vance coming out and saying, Daddy's coming home, and he's gonna
Yeah.
little insight into the world that J.D. Vance there. That was a while ago. Cody B says there's no legitimate leftist labor movement in this country to fight back against the oligarchy. All right. Okay. Well, so we're done with our politics segment forever. I don't know what to say. What else
What
do you
else
have
is
on
there to talk about?
Yeah. Well, so what's he gonna this is what I think that we shouldn't do though. I really do kind of think that there's going to be so much shit they're gonna throw at us and be like Oh, he's going to dissolve FEMA. Oh, he's going to take away the Board of Education. Oh, he's going to do this. He's going to do that. And it's just constant like and then he's going to do something like covert that's going to fuck everybody. And then I mean it is going to be constant, right? It's constant like shit spraying, right? Isn't that? And then
Well,
everybody's like,
that's
what?
true.
You know,
Constant.
Elon Musk gave a Sieg Heil. Oh my God, we better talk about that for 2 days. It's a distraction.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. And so that was in the what's his name? The Adam, the other Adam, the of hypernormalization. Just talking about that strategy of not, so like undermining, and uh counter, movement,
Adam
is
Curtis.
Adam Curtis. Yes, thank you. Is like the idea is not, you're going to support the people against them, right? It's that no, you just create disorder and confusion is the way you undermine, instead of creating sort of a counter force to fight them, right? And so that's what we're in. Is we're in this kind of cesspool of confusion and disinformation, and that completely destroys any type of counter.
So this is why I'm saying, like, I'm sorry to bring it back to meditation again, but you will not be as affected by outside shit slinging if you do meditate. You'll be able to see perspective. I mean, like, that's the thing. When I see Elon Musk give a Sieg Heil, and I'm like, I fucking own a Tesla. I just don't like. We know he's a Nazi. That sucks.
I don't think I knew. I mean, I don't think that.
And he's not a Nazi. He's probably kind of a Nazi too. Like he's as much of a Nazi. He's not going to go like. He's a terrible, horrible person.
Yeah,
and this doesn't change it.
Yeah,
I don't know. We're still talking about it.
It's just what happens when your hero's Henry Ford. You just he's gone a little too far in his hero worship.
God. I mean, but it's a dog whistle too, and so like the Nazis in the crowd are like, "Oh my God, he just called me out. This is great," Like that's and there's going to be so many little dog whistles to all the Proud Boys stand back and stand by or whatever. It's going to be all the racists are getting like, they're like, "Oh, he just said that. Oh, look at was like the secret number that they have, like I can't even remember. Like there's like some sort of secret number, Nazi number." It's all going to be there for people to pick at and just be horrified about and get your blood, angry and everything like that. And then I don't know if he isn't a Nazi, he should be he is an edgelord douchebag. I'm expanding.
Yeah. So
it shouldn't be in the White House.
I mean, this is what kind of boils down to it, which is, and I've talked about this before. It's like, oh, every election, it's the the person who wins, kind of like the version of media, like, JFK being the television president, right? And then, then you have the era of, maybe, like Barack Obama was the Facebook president, and then now I was like, well, what's the thing? And it was like, oh, it's just troll. It's like Trump is the troll president.
Yeah.
It's like troll culture. And and edgelord culture. And so and you see that on the fucking stage. Or like, what was it? It was Sam Altman talking to the Jake Paul and his brother, at the inauguration. I was just like, wow, that just encapsulates everything, where it's like you've got the head of OpenAI talking to a bunch of YouTube bro knuckleheads, and they're all at the inauguration, and it's this digital edgelord troll culture. And people, I mean, that's the thing, is there's an appeal to trolls, right? There's people like that.
Yeah.
People,
definitely.
I hate it. I hate trolls, right? And I hate rah, 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 and all that. But it's like, oh, there's some people just in the same way that some people like the patriarchal kind of view, and I guess maybe that's what it is. And so this is just what we're seeing is like, oh, we're creating friction, creating conflict, and
Yeah, you had it totally. The Adam Curtis. So is that the is that in hypernormalization? The idea of just distraction, just like so much distraction and so
yeah,
much,
like
just sowing so much
the
confusion.
guy, like Putin's guy, who's like one of the, I don't know if he's like a Secret Service guy, but like came up through avant-garde theater, right? And like so, like just the fact that it was like, yeah, and then where it's all becomes this, sort of performative and creating confusion, right? As opposed to, supporting one side or the other. It's like, oh, you just undermine everything. And I'm not saying, oh, this is, I mean, you could say, oh, this is the end result of a Russian, plot to completely dissolve, democracy in America. But I think it's just maybe I don't know, what is it? It's just a condition of, troll culture, right? It's
troll culture, and then I guess like the oligarchy just wants more money, right? They
well,
don't have enough.
I mean, that was the thing, right? Is conflict, sells attention, right? And so it's much better for Facebook to be spewing shit and conflict and unverified stuff. It's better for the bottom line.
Yeah. Cody says, meanwhile, Elmo, I like it, and Netanyahu tweeting with each other today, besties. Wait, are we saying that not voting for Biden because he was anti-Israel didn't help? Wait a minute.
Wait.
Yeah, I'm trying like what's people like people were saying that Kamala Harris was like too much pro-Israel, right?
Okay. Yeah.
Right? And so we didn't vote for her because she's pro-Israel. So we voted for Trump instead.
We voted for Elon Musk.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, it's just more. I believe it was April Smith who wrote the 30th anniversary of Junior Citizen.
That's right.
When did it come out?
February 14th.
Oh, Valentine's Day.
1995.
Wow.
I believe so. It's not yet, but it's close. It's getting there. We're close.
And so what are we going to do for that?
I would like, maybe we'll have some announcement on February 14th. But it's not yet. I don't think we have anything to say until then.
Okay. All right. Well, we are playing a show. We're playing a show with Bob Mould.
That's right.
Bob Mould invited us to play a show with him the night before Easter in Minneapolis. We're playing with Bob Mould in Minneapolis. Is that the coolest thing in the world?
It is. It's
That's
very
so
cool.
cool.
It's very
I love him so much. That's the thing. So I woke up like, I don't know, like around Christmas, and my ears started ringing, and it's really, really bad. And it's like, I looked it up. I didn't go to the doctor because it's not like I hit my head or anything. It's like all of a sudden, actually, I think it happened the day that I dropped the bed on my foot. My ears started ringing.
Wow.
Yeah. And they're ringing and ringing and ringing, and when I look it up, it's like, oh, well, this happens, to old ladies sometimes, and that's what I am. So, and then you just have to. There's all kinds of different things to manage it, because it's not anything that I don't think that drugs will help me with. So I've been like thinking, well, if I was watching Bitch Magnet or Husker Du or something like that, and they had this, my ears were ringing from their noise, I'd be like, listen to that feedback. So I'm just trying to pretend that I'm listening to Husker Du record. Tina, are we going to see you in Minneapolis? Oh, Tina's saying Junior Citizen T-shirts, please. Yeah. Yeah, and then resist the urge to make Senior Citizen T-shirts, right?
Definitely not going to do that.
Yeah, it's not happening. All right. What else we got? I've never wanted to live in Minneapolis as much as I do now. PC and mobile. What's that? Is that the
I don't know.
you got damn autocorrect? It's Mould, yeah. Poster children and Bob Mould. I hugged him. I just love him so much. I loved being we already went over that. I think we talked about it last year. All right, so what else?
Yeah.
Yeah. He was all sweaty. He was like, I'm sweaty. And I'm like, I don't care, Bob Mould. I want your sweat. He's darling, is what he is. Okay. Well, and I loved his book too. I'm going to reread it. I made him sign it for me. I could hear it in his voice.
Hmm.
Did you
Yeah.
read it?
I
you?
didn't. I did. I read some of
I
it.
think you read. Yeah.
I don't think
know.
I
If,
finished
yeah,
it.
I may not have finished it either. It's. I have to go back and see. where
Reading's
it's like-
hard. My brain. Read hard.
Well, we're busy reading Facebook all the time. What did Trump do now? That motherfucker.
Yeah, if the book could just be a series of posts that I could scroll through.
Do you want to? Yeah, with like little shoe ads in between
Yeah.
it. That'd be good. That's
On some social media platform that isn't run by a Trump-loving fascist. Tim Cook, man.
Willy Wah. Tinnitus. It's certainly not an old folk thing. Your friendly neighborhood hearing scientist is here to hear your tinnitus troubles and tribulations.
Ooh. Now my question is for Willie Wall is he up past his bedtime, or is it already morning? Oh, maybe it's already. morning.
Is he in Australia?
No, I don't think so.
New
Maybe he's
Zealand?
not.
Where?
No, I think it's just.
Oh, he's back here, right?
Is he? No, is he?
Amplified ukulele. All right. What else? We watched the. See, now I wanted to say Mark Zuckerberg because what's his name played
Jesse Eisenberg.
Jesse Eisenberg played Mark Zuckerberg. See, can we not? Do we have to boycott Jesse Eisenberg because he played Mark Zuckerberg? Do we have to do that?
No, I don't think so.
Why not? What are you going to do with the Tesla? Well, I already ran it into our garage and like pulled off the bumper and it's just hanging off and I'm driving it proudly like that. I like that.
We have a sticker on it that says "Fire Elon." I don't know if that's enough anymore, but yeah.
Well, a lady saw
okay,
it.
it's only 4 minutes to midnight for him. Okay. Well, yeah, I guess I just feel it's dark here, and I'm so tired. I'm like thinking it's got to be really late, but 6 hours. Yeah, it's only 6 hours. Okay.
Well, so I am not going to get rid of the Tesla. I like that car.
Yeah. All right.
I don't believe that Elon did he create my
I
car?
mean, I'm sure there were plenty of Jews who drove Fords
I
back
drove
in
a
the
Ford.
30s.
Well,
Did you? Yeah, your parents had a Ford van. But
yeah.
that was much later.
Do we have to get rid of the Tesla? Who's the good car maker? who's a good car maker?
Yeah, that's the thing. It's like
I mean, I haven't bought gas. I keep interrupting you. I'm sorry, but I haven't bought gas in a while. Gas guzzler.
Yeah. That's true.
And I charge the car each night by riding a bicycle.
Not.
Did Elon make my car? Did Elon make our car? Did he make it? Did he invent it?
No. He just marketed it.
So,
I mean, that's what he is. He's a marketing guy.
I mean, he's also wears pants. Do I have to not wear pants?
Well, that's just ridiculous.
Okay, I'm
But
sorry.
possibly
I'm not going to get a
you
Cybertruck.
shouldn't be wearing pants because, of course, pants are for men.
Boycott. Kevin Dunham says boycott Eisenberg for playing Lex Luthor in Superman. Maybe did he do that?
Yeah, but I didn't watch those movies.
All right, let's.
I heard him. You know, yeah, I like Jesse Eisenberg. He's a little overwhelming. You know, like super
Jewy.
nerd
Is that what you were going to say?
No, I wasn't actually. No, it's just like that rapid fire, brainy kid thing. Even though he's got to be 40 by now, right? But it's a little. But I liked it. His interview on Fresh Air. I always hear him, and it's always interesting. And it seems like he's. Yeah, I don't think he should be punished for playing Mark Zuckerberg. I liked the movie. I thought A Real Pain was good.
Oh, I thought you were
it's
talking
nice-
about the Fincher movie.
Nice. No.
Yeah.
I guess I liked Social Network
Yeah.
too. It's fine. Yeah, like you said, it was kind of like a Jarmusch movie, and I was trying to think combined with one of those talkie movies, and so then it's like, who's like a talkie, movie person, like kind of
Not Altman.
Robert. Yeah,
No.
no, I don't feel like it's quite Robert Altman, but
Who's the Scottish? God damn it! I'll never. I didn't used to remember his name before. Now I can't remember the ice cream fighting movie. What the movie that I like, Local Hero.
But yeah, not Comfort and Joy. The
Comfort and Joy.
ice cream fighting
Yeah.
movie, Comfort and Joy.
Okay.
Yeah,
Who's that guy? Who's the guy who?
Bill.
Bill
Forsyth.
Forsyth.
Gregory's girl. Right. Yeah.
Yeah.
I need to watch. I never watched. So that was the thing, right? That killed him was the Robin Williams movie that he did with the 4 different eras. Is that the right one? He did he basically, yeah, Bill Forsyth, and it was always I'd always heard it was terrible and everything like that. But it's like maybe it's not. Maybe I need to watch that. But
Wait, Robin Williams was in it.
yeah,
What-
Bill Forsyth movie,
Yeah.
like 30 years ago.
I walked in and one night and Rick is watching Popeye.
Yeah.
Robert Altman. I watched it for a while and then I actually started feeling sick, so I left. That was terrible.
Well, actually, what happened was he just kept griping about it and saying stuff, and then I turned it off.
It
And
was
then
terrible. How could you watch it?
I mean, it's something to watch.
Okay.
So and also, it's a cocaine movie. So it's interesting to see,
Yeah.
to look at cocaine movies. And so,
Remember, so anytime there's a movie playing that's like an old movie, I always ask Rick, what drug was this movie?
yeah.
And then Rick will tell me. And so this is a cocaine movie, and why don't you elaborate? He goes, "Oh, this is a cocaine movie because." Go ahead, elaborate.
Well, I need to work on this thesis a little more because it's just obvious to me, and so you've got films, other cocaine movies, like lots of Brian De Palma movies, right? As he moved on, and so I think Altman, yeah, definitely was like there were, and actually now going back to it is like Megalopolis, right? And so supposedly Francis was smoking a huge amount of weed, and it's like, oh yeah, that's a weed movie. It's like a weird retro, like modern, but then also old. It's like a weed movie.
Wait, but what was with the coke? With
Coke
this
movies are just
no, but you had you were explaining to me where the coke came from, and somebody was going out. Here we go.
Talked
Tell
about
us.
that on another podcast, but
We'll do it again.
Yeah, what was they had? It was it was not a coffin filled with cocaine shipped to the set in Malta, but it's something else. But it might have just been like flight cases. But then like Henry Kissinger had signed a letter or something to vouch that that this shipment didn't need to be inspected and everything like that.
Yeah, that's why I'm like, hey Rick, what kind of drug movie is this? Oh, it's a cocaine movie. As a matter of fact, Henry Kissinger had to intervene. I love that about you.
Yeah. So all those late 70s, early 80s, yeah. So you think about New York, Scorsese. That feels like a Coke movie. And then Raging Bull, I guess, is it's kind of like, I think it's like a Coke after Coke, and yeah, and what's his name? I'm trying to remember, like Paul, who wrote Taxi Driver. Crap, jeez, I can't remember anybody's name. Him talking about writing movies totally coked up, and it's like and which movies, and it's just like fake productivity, and then also just like this is really amazing kind of stuff, and then so like I think a movie like After Hours is like a post Coke movie. It's like a Coke,
like somebody was off Coke.
So Martin Scorsese.
Okay. All right. We've got some questions from the audience. Okay, so Kevin Dunham says any movie. This isn't a question. Any movie from Canon Studios is a Coke movie.
Yeah, probably.
And then April Smith would like to know. Also, Akira Yano, we want to come to Japan too. April Smith would like to know what kind of drug movie is Speed Racer.
Speed Racer. That's just funny. I haven't the. Oh, and this is the other thing. It's like, so what I need to start thinking about is like amphetamine movies. So
yeah, I think that's an amphetamine movie, right?
I don't know.
Speed Racer?
I don't know, but I'm thinking back to the 60s. So this is the thing. Is like, so this is what upsets me is like Bob Dylan, the Beatles, all the like the hyper productivity, and then going back to Husker Du, right? And it's like, oh, Husker Du making, what was it, four
Speed,
albums
yeah.
in 2 years
Little
and everything like
speed
that.
there.
Oh yeah, totally.
Little
And it's
speed.
like, oh, all these great records, and it's there's speed records, right? Speed music, and it's like, okay. Although, I did read something about Paul McCartney was an early Coke guy. Like Sergeant Pepper is actually, he was dabbling with Coke during that too. So it was moving away from speed, and then there's the LSD stuff. But then there was and then all the thing about the salt and pepper shaker, Sergeant Pepper, salt and pepper, and then like having a salt shaker of cocaine and all that kind of stuff. And I was like, ooh, that's really interesting, because we've talked about that too. Is like, mapping the different drugs and the songs and how things evolved, and so putting that into the mix, where typically when you start thinking about Coke music, it would be later. It would be like, you start thinking about Sly Stone. Is like, that to me is like early Coke music, right? And then into the 70s, right? And that's but then like going a few years earlier and saying, ooh, wow, is some of the 60s, like Sergeant Pepper era Beatles, is that got a little bit of Coke in there? That's
little
interesting.
Coke mixed with the pot. Okay, listen. So April Smith is saying lots of pretty colors in Speed Racer. Dan says Speed Racer seems like an acid movie.
Yeah, it's possible. I don't know what.
So
what the Wachowski ladies were up to in terms of their drug cocktails.
So how does that, like, as you determine what type of drug movie it is, like that the director was, what types of drugs the director was doing, not what type of drug you want to use when you're watching it, right? It's about the people on the set. What drug were they doing? Are you thinking more like plot line or editing or
it
color,
kind of
cinematography?
Depends. Yeah, it depends on how coked up everybody was, right? So if you've got scriptwriter coke scripts, but then if they're if it's the director or the editor, and so there's the story, so like you think about like The Last Waltz, right? The documentary that Martin Scorsese made about the band, and where you can actually see like on the musicians, like it's Neil Young, I think they might have tweaked the footage now, but you can see coke on his nose, right? But then also stories about Robbie Robertson and Martin Scorsese just cranked out of their minds trying to edit that frickin' movie, where they're just like, totally out of their heads, and so some of the, but I, when I look at The Last Waltz, it doesn't seem very cokey,
What about so the young one wants to, he's talking about watching, like, I want to watch Local Hero with him because I'm not into, like, I'm trying to go into my not war movie phase. But he's like, well, I haven't seen Apocalypse Now yet. We're going through my favorite movies, right? And Apocalypse Now is one of them. So what? I know that I can't remember the guy's name. The
Sam Bottoms.
Sam
Which
Bottoms.
I don't know which Bottoms. Timothy or Sam?
I think
Sam
it's
is in
Sam.
Apocalypse Now.
Yeah.
Timothy's in The Paper Chase, right?
Talking about doing LSD.
He's actually on
LSD
acid during that.
During the boat
the acid
scene.
Yeah.
No.
It sounds like. Yeah.
Oh no, he wasn't, right? He wasn't on acid. He said he was on acid in the movie, but he wasn't. He was on something else.
Oh, okay. Yeah, maybe.
Yeah. I can't remember what it was, though.
That movie, I think, is just a mix, a cocktail of, I think it's probably a collision of a little bit of everything. But yeah, I feel like it's probably a Coke movie,
I hate
too.
to ask this, but what about Star Wars?
I don't think Star Wars is a Coke movie.
It's a parent movie. Or the prequels were parent. The drug was I just gave birth. Is that the problem?
I think the Eraserhead, maybe, right?
Eraserhead was what, Daddy movie? Or what?
Well, right. Isn't
I'm thinking about Eraserhead now. Yeah.
What's David Lynch's daughter's name? Like her, if you look at her age, and then you look at the timeline of the production and the development of Eraserhead, it's like, oh, okay, this is just a movie about him, becoming a father. It's terrible.
Cody has repeated tweaked probably because Cody thinks that's funny.
Yeah.
April Smith says maybe E, ecstasy.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
So
Ecstasy
I'm not
for-
as I'm not able to kind of
Yeah.
I'm not good at tracking. Yeah, the more kind of
You need to do a little bit more research
90s,
than that. Yeah.
2000s.
And then Cody says every scene is a different drug in Apocalypse Now.
yeah, exactly. Right? Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So like the French plantation scene, that's just like lots of wine, right?
Yeah, I was just gonna say
That's a
lots of
wine
alcohol. Yeah.
Wine scene.
So here, okay, and I know we've gone over, but so this was the conundrum of last night. The young one, the 15-year-old, wants to watch Apocalypse Now, and he goes, well, I want to see Apocalypse Now. I haven't seen it, and I said, well, which one? And he goes,
Yeah.
well, he goes, well, maybe we could watch both, and I'm like, honey, there aren't just two versions of it.
Yeah.
You
and
have a
so,
6-hour version of it. Yeah.
Oh
so
yeah,
which-
I have
yeah.
the what is it called? The rough cut. That's
Yeah.
6 hour. Yeah. Which is
Somebody-
done on video.
some-
He was doing video editing.
Somebody gave that to us. Harvey Weinstein. It's funny, Cody.
I like. So what is it? There's I did not like the 3.5 hour one. Is that Redux? But then the one that was in the theaters just a few years ago, where it's got a little bit of extra stuff, but not. It's got the French plantation scene.
It does have the French
But
plantation.
it doesn't have like the all the crazy extra stuff with the surfing and.
Does he eat the shrimp? Does he take a shrimp from the plate of shrimp? Does
I
it
don't
have
know
to
if
be
he ever
that
does
one?
there.
And then Han shot first. In one
But
of them?
I think the original edit's pretty good. I
Oh,
think you
so
just
your
watched the original.
original
Pierce.
edit.
Well, and again,
Apologist.
and then the question is so that's the thing is I saw there was the 16 millimeter print, so that's what they showed at U of I when I think that was the first time I saw Apocalypse Now, and that's got I'm trying to remember what the 16 millimeter did that have the firebombing at the end.
I feel like the first time I saw it, I saw firebombing,
Yeah.
but I don't.
There are
that's what I'm trying-
multiple even cuts
Yeah.
of different prints.
Right,
yeah,
exactly.
From
So-
the original.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you want to see a little bit of the plantation scene. You want to see him take. I feel like Han Solo takes a shrimp sometimes and
I
doesn't
don't
another
remember that,
time. Like,
Yeah.
are he like, wait, no shrimp for me? In the plantation scene, we want the firebombing at the end, or no?
I think I do. Yes.
Okay, we want
Yes.
the firebombing. We, for me, I'd include like a little bit of Martin. I just switch when Martin Sheen is drunk, after he punches the mirror. Just a little cut of Francis Ford Coppola just going, go, just keep going, keep rolling. Put that in the movie, like
Just
a combined
Hearts
of Darkness and
That's-
Apocalypse Now.
That's the edit. Yeah.
Yeah.
You want to see.
I want to see a little of that. I want to see, I want to see Francis Ford Coppola's wife a little bit. Like, I want to see that. I want to see the helicopters fly in a wrong direction because they were recalled. That part of Hearts of Darkness. I gotta have the puppy. I gotta have a little Sam Bottoms talking about what drug he was on. That because it wasn't acid.
I think what you want to see is Apocalypse Now annotated,
yeah.
like some weird hybrid. Maybe
Hearts
it's
of
just,
Apocalypse
maybe
Now.
you just want watch it with the commentary track. That's all. That's all you're talking about.
Is there? I want that with the commentary track in the language of
The aliens in Galaxy Quest.
Thank you.
There we go.
That's what. Yeah.
All right.
All right. Thank you for listening. Thanks, Kevin. Says excellent episode. Thank you, Cody. Thanks, everybody. We'll be back in 2 weeks.
Be safe.